All right, everybody, what's going on? Today we want to break down or continue what we talked about earlier today when we were revealing, explaining, eliminating, and simplifying spiritual escapism. We'll also introduce another piece of the Life Management University Roundtable. That's going to be my leadership group, if you will. The core workings of establishing the Life Management Center, Heaven on Earth. That's another way of talking about shadow work. So tonight we want to talk about our soul tribe, spiritual tribe. From the perspective of the higher frequency, or the higher the frequency, the greater the alterations. Now, it's really interesting because we are living in a world. Can I give a little backstory before we get into breaking down more information about the life management, leadership or the roundtable, which, again, we talk about this around this time every year, because what I'm doing is I'm gauging kind of the spiritual level of the group. So one of the things that comes with doing shadow work is you spend a lot of time alone. You will find yourself alone because when you do shadow work, it's hard to connect with people. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It is what it is. So there is this, difficulty connecting with people when you are really doing the shadow work, which is the reason why, there's always been a little hesitancy when it comes to the Life Management University Roundtable and the Investment Club, because when you get a group of people together, you got to make sure that everybody's on the same page. There has to be one voice, there has to be one vision in order for us to accomplish anything that we want to accomplish. So, kind of believe that we are, if we're not there, we're pretty close. So let's talk about the shadow work that everybody is doing right now, and then also talk about my vision for the Life Management Roundtable, which is just an extension of what everybody's already doing. So, as we talked about yesterday when we broke down, or this morning, earlier today, when we broke down the fact that everybody, a lot of us, thankfully, we've already went through this spiritual escapism, where most of the people, the core group of people inside the Life Management Center, people have been rocking and rolling with me for a while. Most of you guys have kind of got through all of that. All the fakeism, all the politics, all the stuff on the internet, and you pretty much know that anything that the government comes out with, you want to do the opposite. So we're pretty much already aware of that. What I want to talk about a little bit before we get into the roundtable information is that, our spiritual tribe. So we're all part of this spiritual tribe. And the reason is because we have similar, vibes. We, all of us, regardless of what part of the country that you live in, your verbs that you use every day in your brain that you think are very similar to mine. That's the only way we can connect, is that there is verbs that's running around in your head. These words, they are sending out a frequency or wave of vibration that we call a vibe. So this is how we are building, the Life Management University Roundtable Investment Club. So that the group of investors, what we are doing is not only establishing the Life Management University on a global scale, but as we talked about, we are making sure that everybody that's a part of this investment club, we're also establishing their business inside of the Life Management University, as well as globally or individually. And that way the funding isn't just on one person, because it's iron sharpening iron. The entire group is working together to ensure the prosperity of everybody in the group and the group's core demographics. That just simply means your clients or your customers. Because what we're here to do is to create a culture of generosity that we talked about earlier today. And this culture that we are creating is a culture of generosity because we've done it for ourselves already. So everybody in this call, you have a spirit of generosity. If you didn't have that spirit of generosity, you probably wouldn't be on this call already, or you would be doing something else. Because the higher the frequency, the greater the alterations, the adjustments, and the changes that take place inside of the disposition, then you're going to find yourself alone. The reason that you're alone is because you can see through everybody's agenda. So you have what I have. Everybody on this call, we all have the same thing. That's why, I feel comfortable with talking about, this investment club at this juncture, because we've talked about this before. We've never pulled the trigger on it and implemented it, but it's easy to talk about it now. And that is this shadow work that I've done and you've done put you in a space where now you are alone. The reason that you're alone, in case you don't know, is because hidden agendas become visible to you. It's really easy for you to see through everybody's hidden agenda. So the dominant culture has created what they call synthetic life. So the reason that I do what I do is to make people aware of this hidden agenda that's attacking life. And it's all layers of life. Now, the purpose of the life management system is to give people in life management university, and the purpose of now the investment club is to now take this and take you and your message and take it global. So we all have the same message, whether we know it or not, because the message isn't a word. The message is a frequency. It's a wave. It's a higher frequency. And that higher frequency, once it's established, after you do the shadow work, you're going to find yourself alone inside of a group of people. Even though you're around 100 people, you will find yourself alone. Now, again, it doesn't mean physically alone. It means vibrationally. It means spiritually alone. That's the whole purpose of the Life Management University Roundtable Investment Club, because we are a group that we're all on the same page, because of all of the years of the classes, replacing error with truth. Because I can go into, as I'll be doing more in 2023, and especially with this small group, because we want to really take a group of 5 to 10, 15, 20. I would love to have 100 people. It'd be awesome, because then we'll be able to just have that much of an impact. However, whatever frequency, people, waves, vibrations, that source that we verb, vibe, tribe, then we can thrive. So right now, we got the verbs, we got the vibe. Now, we're building a tribe. That's what we talked about tonight. So this tribe that I am building, that we're building, is a tribe because we are all here to thrive. Now, I was suggesting and recommending, and again, you guys can text me, you guys can email me. If there's something that you're not interested in, you ain't got to say nothing. You just, keep tuned in on the messages that you like. Take advantage when I roll out the Life Management University. Take one class for $20, or you can take the whole program, for $1,000. You can get in where you fit in. So there's different price points, and again, I'll be rolling all that out in more detail as we get closer to 2023. Tonight, the most important thing is your shadow work. So the feelings that you're having, the reality that you're living in, is a result of this shadow work. You're already doing this shadow work because you tuned in into the show. You're already going inside and you're already examining yourself. You're already doing what we talked about earlier today in part 1. You've already done that, otherwise you wouldn't be on the call. And you are in the process of continuing to do that. So you're going through and you're looking at yourself and you are removing all of the attributes and characteristics of your nature. You are in the process, whether you notice or not, you're already doing it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the show. So instead of you escaping reality, you're processing it. You're dealing with it, but you're alone. Even though you may be like me, you may be married, you may have a big family, but you're alone. You're doing this by yourself. Because the spiritual work, shadow work, is an individual job. So you're supposed to be alone. You can't do this with your partner because your partner is on a different level than you. They're processing their own spiritual avoidance. They're processing their own spiritual bypassing. They're processing their own spiritual escapism. So God deals with everybody on their own level. Then when you get to the space where you have dropped all your devils, you've let go of all of your belief systems, okay, now you're ready to do what we're talking about, which is you are in a place of cognitive knowing instead of cognitive belief. So now you really honestly believe you're worthy. You really get to the place where you feel comfortable, like I was saying earlier, doing what Sister Addie's doing. You really feel comfortable. It's not fake. You're not just like overcompensating it. You really enjoy yourselves. You really enjoy, like if you was in, prison inside of your cell, alone, if you was in a hole by yourself, other than the fact that you was, incarcerated, you cool. So now that we are at this space, now we can talk about the power that comes from being alone. There is a frequency, a wave of vibration that the dominant culture is attacking by using these synthetic life forms and nanobots. Now the technology will be breaking it down. This shit is crazy. There's literally synthetic beings that are nano. This is all the nanotechnology. And so this is the information, because anything that the government is promoting, obviously we're not. Not because we're against it, but because we're for organic life, not synthetic life. So the reason that you're going to find it more and more difficult to connect with people is because the synthetic life, a nanobot technology, is a technology that will be able to read every thought. They already got the technology out. That's the stuff we'll be talking about in 2023, especially with the group. And again, the purpose of this group is to create a culture of generosity and light, because that's what's been attacked. And so it's iron sharpening iron. So we're already doing that, but now we are aware that because we are operating on a higher frequency, because the technology, it doesn't work when you are in a state of what they call bliss. What I've talked about in the last show, and 2 shows before this, where we were talking about the universal unified field of physics. Now, bliss, for some reason or another, it messes up the nanobot technology. So the only way that the nanobot technology works, or it works better, when you're in a state of fear, or when you're in a state where you are overwhelmed by stress and you're worried about how you're going to, do certain things. That shuts down or limits your ability to operate in a space where you are altering or in an altered state of consciousness, or you are being altered. Now, I'm going to get into it in the next series. We're going to get into the science behind how all of this works step by step. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening to you, especially like with things with psilocybin, like melatonin, serotonin. We already know about melanin, and how these chemicals are being released, because when you do shadow work, what you are doing is you are releasing certain chemicals in the brain. That makes it very difficult for you to experience toxic shame, because you're in a higher frequency. You have processed and you are in a state. You're in an altered state of consciousness. It's called gamma brainwave state. And most people can't get into that state and stay there, but they got to go through meditation. They need a machine. But you're going to be able to do that and just walk around every day in that state naturally. It would be a natural state. Because when you understand that when you focus on why things are not working, you get exactly why things are not working. So when you're focusing on what you don't want, you get exactly what you don't want. So when you're in a higher frequency, you don't focus on the things that are not working. You don't focus on what you don't want. You don't focus on what you're against. That doesn't even register. You are so immersed in what you're for. Now, you're aware but you're not afraid. So you're in this new space because attention is a new currency. So the whole purpose of this group is to have all of the leaders, because we'll use that term, because we're all leaders. It's leaders, just create more leaders. And we're not creating followers. Now, I'm looking at the price point at $1,000, meaning that everybody that's a part of this leadership group, they're coming in with $1,000, and we can start, around income tax time because people have money around that time. We can start today if everybody's in the position today. We can start in January. So the whole purpose of the group, whether we got 5 people or 10 people, 20 people, 25, 100 people, we got 100 people, that's $100,000. And then the group, we meet once a week, once every 2 weeks, and we now invest. We could do something crazy, like buy an acre of land, put tiny homes on it, and everybody move over there and live off the grid. That's way out there. But hey, what if everybody in the group want to do that? I mean, I seriously doubt it, but you never know. But what is the point? The point is now we get to do something that's very difficult to do. That's why I've waited this long to really implement and to pull the trigger on really, really operating, because it's very difficult to connect with people who are vibrating on the same level, because there's no hidden agendas, because everybody can read everybody. Everything is visible. So most people don't like to be around people that can read them because they got a hidden agenda. So we're creating an organization of spiritual energy workers. But you're doing that on yourself now, and we'll continue to do that. And so the organization that I'm building, just because you have $1,000, that doesn't mean that you just, you all come in. Because before we add it, and anybody can leave at any time, but before we add anybody to the group, the whole group has to agree that that person is a good fit. And the whole purpose of the group is to do stuff that's not being done. We're not philanthropy. We're not going to take up money and do GoFundMe. We're not trying to save nobody. Nobody needs saving. That's kind of the problem. So what we're doing is it's an organization of gods, and we're going to lead by example. We're going to do shit that has never been done before. We're going to take nothing and create mastery. Because remember, most people are so spiritually minded that they're not earthly good. So whether we start with 2 people, whether I just continue to do it myself, whether we got 5 people, we got a group of people, if we got 5 people, that's $5,000. We're going to take that $5,000 and we're going to invest it in the best ideal that's already in existence on the table. Whether that be my system, whether that be, say, what Dr. Span is doing, whether it's maybe what Sister Diane is doing. Maybe we take the $5,000, and I know Sister Diane has those collard green trees. Maybe we're going to invest in helping Sister Diane buy some land in California and grow collard green trees. And I didn't know it until I met Sister Diane. So collard greens that I got, they grow on the ground. Well, these grow up. Okay, maybe get them, dry them, grain them up into little capsules, do some research on the medicinal benefits of, taking these collard green capsules. And we start a whole business by promoting the health benefits of collard greens. Again, that's just an example. What's the point? The point is we're only limited by nothing. So the reason why most people don't wake up in the morning the way I do, that's the primary purpose of this leadership group, is higher frequency living. Because the higher the frequency, the more alterations take place. That means the faster you manifest. So the reason that I'm able to manifest things a lot faster than a lot of other people is because my frequency. Because the greater the frequency, the greater the alterations. Now, I'm going to give you the proof behind it with all of the stuff that we're going to, in the next series, because this is the brain work. This is what happens when your brain is in a higher frequency. Man, this is awesome. Now, I've always known it, but just recently, the science has caught up with what was taught in the ancient text. One accord, one language, there's nothing that can be accomplished. Where two or three are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. So if we got three people and we got $3,000, well, let's say everybody do 500. The amount of money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start. See, we can start with $100. That doesn't matter. In addition to what we talked about earlier, by rotating the money around, so that way everybody's building up their credit, that's part of the group. Ensure that everybody in the group has a 700 or 750 credit score. The group gets together, and then we decide what we're going to tackle with high frequency. And then ensure that if there's health issues, okay, the group gets together and we decide, okay, not only are we going to help the person, somebody in the group is going through some health issues. Bam, we're going to get in the group, we're going to find out, okay, how to cure blank. We're going to get some holistic, natural ways. We're going to cure blank, and then we're going to do a book, and we're going to do everything that I'm doing, we're going to do, and then we're going to promote it because now we got proof. We got evidence. So what we're going to do, we'll have our fucking feet on the ground solving real life problems every day. Now the church should be doing that right now, but they're not. That's why we are starting this group. Now remember, this is an automatic expression. For me, as I tell you guys today, one of the biggest hurdles that was removed was thinking, because as we know, beliefs are money blocks. When I removed the belief that I needed to work or do a show or do a pay-per-view to receive money, when I remove that belief, money starts to flow to me easily and effortlessly every day, all day. I've been getting checks in the mail pretty much every since. Just because I remove that money block that says I got to do something to get money instead of I'm born with money. Now I got a whole different worldview. My worldview is the have principle that's taught by Nobel Goddard. I read it before, but I didn't understand it. Some people call it the after principle. Most people have the law of attraction. They have the law of sowing and reaping. Very few people have what it says in the Bible, give and it shall be given. Very few people understand that we are joint heirs and royal priests, that abundance is our birthright. So this higher level of thinking, very difficult, because most people have a belief that says, no, Doc, I got to work, I got to exercise to be healthy. I can't think and be healthy. I got to work at a job to make money. I can't think and receive money from being a vibrational asset to the universe. That's a whole different way of thinking. So the higher the frequency, the greater the alterations, the greater the process of altering the self and being altered and staying in an altered state of consciousness. That is shadow work. Now remember what happens the moment you start this process. You can see every hidden agenda. Everything becomes visible. So what happens? Nobody's going to be around you. Why? They're going to feel uncomfortable around you. Why? Because you can read them. Some of you guys are already at that place. If y'all like me, you already like, every time I go around family, and it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. We just start talking, and then we run out of topics. Because I sit down, there was 30 people in my house for Thanksgiving. And I hung out there, I was talking. Oh, man, the game's coming on, man. Who you think is going to win? Oh, the Cowboys going to take it, man. No, I don't think the Cowboys going to take it. So what you been up to, man? Oh, bro, you know what? I'm still doing. So you still doing well, what are you doing again? Well, basically, I'm a life coach, man. I just try to keep it simple. So I just help people improve their lives. And they say, oh, okay. Now, all their lives suck. So, of course, they said, well, shit, man, like the topic came up, and I was telling we were talking about the dinner, the dessert. And my mother-in-law, every year, She makes a whole pan of peach cobbler just for me. Nobody else can eat it. And she brought over, she said, so the thing came because remember, everybody got high blood pressure, sickle cell, diabetes, fucking cataracts, all kind of crazy shit. I'm the only one well, not the only one, but I'm in perfect health, especially for my age. And so the top of it, and they was like, shit, you can't eat all that sugar. So why the fuck not? I'm gonna knock it out. I said, that shit would not last when it didn't. That whole pan of peach cobbler lasted about 3 days. So the father-in-law says, boy, you end up with diabetes. I have to say that because my wife said, well, no, he does detoxes. They say, he does what? Well, you know, he does a detox. None of them know what the fuck that was. But you know what? Nobody asked because they don't want to fucking know. Not really. They like it, but they like diabetes. They like sickle cell. They like high blood pressure, all that shit that they got. I don't do it. I don't take no pills. I ain't going to take no pills. I don't have to take no pills. So what is that though? Well, a lot of people know what I know, but they don't do what I do. But why not? Because they really don't know. Because there's no way you can know and not do. So remember, what are we talking about though? What we mentioned yesterday, because what we're doing, we're building a culture of generosity. It doesn't exist. So remember, this Life Management Roundtable, this is an organization of light beings. So we don't have cognitive belief. We got cognitive knowledge. We got cognitive knowing. Totally different. So we don't practice spiritual escapism. I ain't trying to escape. I ain't waiting for no fucking rapture. I'm not waiting to go to heaven. I'm already in fucking heaven. I've been there. So I'm sitting in my $1 million house right now that everybody told me I couldn't do. I'm driving my $100,000 convertible Corvette. Everybody told me. So I'm living by fucking example. So everybody in this car will be living the same way I'm living in your hood. That's the first thing we're gonna do. The first thing that if I gotta fucking take you by the hand personally, that's why I got the reason I brought this house with fucking basically 3 extra bedrooms so everybody can come here and stay. Now ain't shit free, as you guys know. But what's the point? Well, yeah, you guys stay here for a week and over under the stand because that's what happened to me. My life changed when I went to California. And I hung out with a bunch of black, millionaires / billionaires. Now, they took a big hit when COVID came down. Thankfully, I didn't go because I remember I was supposed to move to California. I was going to sell the life or stop doing because one of the things were, which is the reason why I didn't take it. And then right after I didn't take it, thankfully, I listened to my gut, like always. But long story short, they didn't belly up, but man, they wouldn't have been able to afford me. Because we had a contract for $1 million a year. That was a base, because I'm not going to take less money than I'm already making. So the base, but what I was going to be doing exactly what I'm doing now. So I started. I was working out for a good 3 months. Everybody that was hired, I had to give a thumb of approval by doing a yearly report. So I was a peak performance officer. Then what happened? COVID. So things were put on hold and it never came back. It never got back up to the level. So the company kind of dissolved into smaller. The big country was broken up because even the board, remember everybody that was on the board were Harvard and Ivy League Caucasians, except for the guy that hired me. And his part of the company, which was a lot of, again, black folks, which is the reason why I was interested. But what was the problem? Ego. Because them good old boys from Harvard, the first thing they asked me from was about my credentials. Not my, it's kind of like saying that diabetes, a lot of black folks, y'all know this. We go through this all the time. Because, don't get me wrong, you need credentials. Credentials are great. But I'm not interested in your credentials if you can cure cancer. Because if I'm dying of cancer, I'm not going to ask you where you got your degree from. I got fucking 30 days or 15 days or whatever. So whatever you got going on, that's why Maxwell Gershon and all of this stuff done. When I was in San Diego, when I went to the Gershon Institute, which is his wife was running it. Now the wife, Claudette, is gone, so I think the daughter's taking over. If you don't know about Maxwell Gershom, they were doing that shit back in the 70s when I was in San Diego. So what is the point, Doc? What's the point? That's the organization I'm talking about. So I've been a part of some great organizations. I'll tell you guys about Charles Tillotson. He had something called the Doers Club. Man, he's talking about a great organization. Now, I'll tell you guys about my boy when I was Dexter Yeager. Now, you can Google all these things. I was part of that, what Dexter Yeager was doing. Then I was part of another organization. I've been a part of some great organizations. Then it was called Build Freedom. That was the one that Wesley Snipes was in. The only thing I didn't like about Build Freedom was they was really into what they call perpetual or sovereign citizenship. Well, the United States have a big problem when you say fuck the United States while you're living in the United States. And you say fuck the IRS, and I'm going to drive on your streets with my freaking flag and no driver's license and no license plate. And you wonder why you get pulled over and harassed. So I'm not interested in taking on the United States government. I'm not against the United States. I'm for W.E. Rogers, but I'm not against nobody. So that's what we're doing. What we're doing, though, hasn't been done because I haven't found a spiritual, scientific organization. A lot of people have that on their logo. A lot of people say that they're spiritual scientists, but I look at their spiritual life, it doesn't match their personal life. This will be the first organization. You will be the first person in your family who you got your head in the clouds and you got your fucking feet on the ground. That means I go to your house and it looks like streets of gold. I can eat off your floor. That means you ain't living in Bumbuck, Egypt. That means that your spirituality and your materiality is the same. Because the spirit lives inside the body. I don't know what people get. That means that your fucking body should match your spirit. This is the problem I have with spiritual folks. Because I've been to black churches. Everybody's obese. You seen the fucking choir director? You seen the pastors? You seen the worship leaders? Now, I don't know you cannot. At least, I don't know what spirituality they got. But the spirituality now, remember, I'm not talking about weight. You could be 650 pounds to be healthy. You go to the doctor, cholesterol is great. Your blood is great. Your sugar level is great. Your vision, everything is great. And you're 650 pounds. Okay? You're healthy. People assume skinny means healthy. I know a lot of people skinny and they fucked up. And I know a lot of people obese, according to the definition, I'm considered obese. But my body fat is less than most people. So the point, my brothers and sisters, of shadow work is for you to understand what's happening in your life right now. And for you to do the last piece of the puzzle, which is remove your success blockers. Your success is being blocked by your belief system. That's your thoughts. See, we don't change vibrations, we change beliefs. Or I don't. You don't go up and vibrate like a millionaire. You don't go down and vibrate like a homeless person. You got a unique energy signature. God gave it to you. Before you was born, he knew you in your mother's womb. He predestined you. You can't just come out here and just fucking make it up. You was born with a frequency. What is it? So that's where we start giving you what I call a DNA, which is your destiny. This is in your DNA. So everybody comes into this planet with a calling card already. Then you go to school and your mom and daddy beat the shit out of you because you ain't following their rules. Just like they did me. Just like I did my kids. Because I didn't know. If I'd have known, I have like my daughter, when I was fussing at her for taking down the drapes, cutting them up, and making dresses when she was in elementary school. Because if I was smart enough, and I had half a fucking brain, I would have brought her some material so she wouldn't have to take the drapes down off the window I didn't notice the fact that her creative skills, now I figured it out by the time she was in middle school, but I still stifled, thankfully didn't kill it. That's why she has her own design company up in Dallas right now. She quit a job paying $150,000 a year. Quit. She was the only black designer at Michaels. Y'all know the Michaels? Michaels is mainly in the South. Remember, company paid to China, company paid to Taiwan, company paid to Philippines to do what? She makes her own fabric. So she don't buy fabric, she buys thread count. And companies hire, right now she's got like 3 or 4 job offers. She working home. I talked to her today, day's her birthday. You saw me post a picture on my Facebook. My middle daughter, now she's a baby because my youngest daughter died when she was 19 because I was a fucked up father. That's why I got so much passion for what the fuck I do. And I don't have time to fucking play. Because one day, I'm going to be gone. And you're going to be gone. And who's going to fucking take care of your kids? If you're a fucking parent, man, don't do this shit I did by having your head and stuff somebody's ass while your fucking kids are starving. Don't be talking about shit that ain't got shit to do with your fucking family. You should only be involved with your family. Everything that you do should be about your family. Family is it. When you gone, the only people that's going to remember you is your fucking family. 5 days from the time that you died, it's like you even never existed. My father died, it's almost like he never lived. I got to remind myself, like, damn, if I didn't have his picture on the wall, it's like he was never here. I have 3 brothers, older brothers, step-brothers, they've been gone. I don't even remember them. I have to remind myself when I talk to people, because I only talk about the 5 that's around. People say, well, shit, I thought you said 13. Yeah, shit, most of them gone already. Why? High blood pressure, sickle cell. I got an uncle right now, both of his fucking legs is gone. He was an all-state in football, all-track, star athlete. My father's brother, now pushing around in a fucking wheelchair. Why? Diabetes. Fucking preventable disease. And I got the cure. I told him when they took out his fucking toe what he needs to do. Yeah, boy. Whatever. You got people in your family. You may be one of those folks. Hopefully not. So the whole point of who I am and what I'm about and what we take to the next level, I've been doing this by myself for 20 years. Now I want to bring on board people so we can take this shit global. That way, the Life Management University website, some of the funds will be used to upgrade, to hire somebody, hopefully within the group. And we will pay you, the group, because all I'm doing is just basically, instead of me being a one-man show, I don't fucking know everything. Because you guys got to remember, I'm a starter. I'm not a finisher. That's why I got fucking 300 books and none of them have been marketed. So I need finishers. I need people who can take my shit and combine it with what you know and fucking market it so we can all be millionaires. And we can have our fucking company paid meetings once a month in whatever fucking city we want, courtesy of the United States government. Because all this shit's tax deductible. Because I've been doing it for 20 years. I ain't paid taxes, I don't know how long. Now, when I say paid, I mean, I pay my share, if you want to use that term. But everything I do is tax deductible. Like I've taught everybody in the series that we did. So my Corvette, that's a $100,000 car. You know how much when I paid the interest on that thing this year? You know, all that's tax deductible. You don't even know what my house payment is. You don't even want to know. You do not want to know. Oh, well, you can do the math. $1 million at, what do we do? About 5%. Remember, we started at 2%. The house wasn't $1 million when we got it. It was about $750. From the 2 years that it's been to build this thing, it fucking increased in value. Since we've been in the house, it's already increased almost $200,000. Because the market is crazy. What is the point, Doc? I could sell the house right now for a fucking profit. A nice profit. And we only been here, what, 3 months? So everybody on this call, you got to do the same thing. You guys remember the How to Get Rich Using Credit course that I did? So let me let you understand, because income has almost dried up. Hopefully you guys are aware of that as well. If you notice what's going on in the market, if I did not have the system that I'm building and I'm setting up for you guys right now, I would be in trouble. Because the pay-per-view series, if you come into my office, every pay-per-view series that I've done, my daughters, when they came down, they said, Dad, you know, your office looked like a fucking crazy man. Like, do you need medication? My kids are worried about me. If you came into my office right now, you can't see the wall. You know what's on the wall? Scribbles and writing. My handwriting. I keep telling you guys, man, if you go to Egypt and you're not a high vibration, as my brother Travis, again, one of the clients, and one of these days I'm going to get my boy to do his testimony. He kind of like, because he done some crazy shit. Like, I ain't did no fucking poison, no. I haven't been to the rainforest in Brazil. I watched the DMT. Brother Travis done all that shit. Brother Travis is a fucking traveling nurse. Boy, you know how much money Brother Travis? I shouldn't put his business out there in the street. So I can't say, but let me put it this way. Everywhere that you would think about going, he already been. And when he goes there, we talk. I say, what y'all doing now, Brother Travis? I say, man, Doc, we're going to do this. Like this one dude that Jesus Christ, the guy who says Jesus, and he'd be like, have people's bodies levitate and all stuff, but he did that shit too. Man, I'm about to tell you guys about that plant deity that you meet. Well, yeah, he met him. I'm going to let him tell the story. But I told him that shit was going to happen before he did it. He said, well, Doc, I got to find out. He's just like me. He's a 33 too. So I like Brother Travis. Because we fuck what other people say. I want to experience it for myself. I'm the same way. So that's why I went to blood orgies. That's why I went to seances. That's why I did crazy shit. Because I was like, I want to see the devil. I don't think he's real. I don't think he got the power he said he got. When I went, I found out he don't got the power that they say he got. He got power, but he don't got that kind of power. Because guess what? If you know who the fuck you are, can't nobody do nothing to you unless you got fear. You're like a dog will stop chasing you. Y'all see the TikTok videos where bears and mountain lions are chasing people. They stop, they yell, they raise their hands, they stand firm. The animal stops, sniffs them, and then he walks the fuck off. But if you got fear in your body, you're going to get fucking mauled. Well, the universe is the same way. The universe is like animals. Go out and now, I don't recommend you go out there with no lions because they're the king of the jungle. They're going to maul your ass, fear or not. So I wouldn't advise it. However, y'all see those dudes, those lion whisperer dudes, they go out there and lay with lions and stuff. Would I do that? Hell no. But a lot of people would. Or do because of mental disposition. They know something. This is what we call cognitive knowing. Well, I got cognitive knowing in my lane. That's it. And we talked about this, a couple of shows ago. Everybody, you have something I don't. That's why I want to connect with you. You have your own field of influence. Like my boy, I'm back there, he tuned in. I think he's tuned in today. Is that which Martin is that? That's tuned in. But Donnie, is that you? But what's the point, Doc? Well, Brother Donnie or Brother Cameron, I'm not sure which one it is that's tuning in. They're from Alabama. I think it's probably Brother Cameron. Is that you, Brother Cameron? And there's no way I can go down to Alabama. Yeah, Brother Cameron. What's up, Brother Cameron? Man, I haven't seen you in a long time, bro. I'm still coming out the way, man, to go fishing. Every time you post fishing, when man, you got a beautiful daughter too, brother. Every time Brother Cameron pulls up a trout or whatever, and he posts on Facebook, the wife gets jealous. But she likes to fish too, Brother Cameron. So she wants me to go down wherever you be at, so we can go fishing with you, man. So I'm going to come down to Alabama one of these days. But you know, you got to make sure that them good old boys down there in Alabama. I won't be out after dark though. Now I think we've progressed past that, but I'm sure there's some parts of Alabama that I may not be welcomed. So Brother Cameron knows that. So I know Brother Cameron, and Brother Cameron knows me. So I can trust Brother Cameron wouldn't take me to a part of Alabama where there's a bunch of good old boys at and drop my black ass off there after sundown. Because I've known Brother Cameron for a while. I've known his father, John, before he did. And Brother Cameron said, yep, all good after sundown here, brother. And I kind of knew that already. Because otherwise, there's no way. And so that's why I do have much mad respect for, like my boy, Brother David Andrews, Brother Cameron, his father, Brother Donnie, my boy, Brother Travis, my boy Richie Rich, Brother Richard. Man, who else? I know I'm forgetting a couple of people. I'm going through Brother Benjamin, Brother David. Who else? I think that's everybody. Oh, Brother Alec Martin. So I'm going through, these are all by Caucasian brothers. You know how hard that is for a Caucasian to sit and listen to an African American, and vice versa. That's why I've got a lot of respect for Brother Cameron. Especially for Brother Cameron, because he's a young guy. Do you know what young Alabama Caucasians, some, not all, they will not sit and listen, call it and pay. But my dear Brother Cameron came in, I know he dropped what? I know Brother Cameron dropped $10,000. His dad dropped to join Lifeline. What am I saying? The fact that they were able to do that is an indication of their spiritual superiority. They don't see color, they see fucking results. And if you still stuck on stupid, that's the shit that we're addressing. Because they are still trying to create this gender, create this race, they gotta try to separate us because love is the most powerful force on the planet. They, whoever they are, they know that. Everybody on this call, you have a very unique energy signature. And when you guys get a chance to, when we have our first company meeting and you guys get a chance to meet Brother Cameron, you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's very important, brothers and sisters, because that love that Brother Cameron exudes in his image. I've never met Brother Cameron in person. But when you see his Facebook page and his images and stuff, you can look on his face and he doesn't have that hate. When I saw his dad, same thing. His picture of his dad, he doesn't have that good old boy vibe. That's what I'm talking about. There's an energy that we all possess that's different. That's why you probably are like me, and it's not hard to connect with people. It's just you don't have too much in common with people. Because most people are not about the Father's business. Because they think the Father's business is religion. They don't understand that the Father's business is shadow work. The Father's business is about you going inside and dealing with your own ego. Why do you carry yourself so? Who made you God? All the shit that I used to do. Spiritual or emotional? Let's start with the emotional. As we talked about earlier, everybody on this call, if you haven't already, if there's any unresolved emotional trauma, we need to connect. And we can do, the first one-on-one is free. And I'm not talking about play stuff. I'm talking about serious. If there's seriously some emotional trauma that you've been through and you're struggling with, then we need to process that before we kick off the Life Management University round table. Because like we're saying is what we're doing now is everybody will be able, because I'm going to make sure that everybody, like in the series I was telling you guys about the peripheral, and then the new series, that I've been watching on Prime, on Apple Prime or whatever it's called. What's it called? Amazon Prime. It's called Electric Dreams. In the movies, they're putting this because science has finally proven that virtual reality is no different from our reality. So during the next series that we're going to go into, again, the next series starts on December the 2nd. Cost is only $100 instead of the usual $249 because I want to make sure that everybody gets this. It does come with the book, and I'm just about done with the book. And the book goes into a lot of the stuff that, man, it's just difficult to believe until you see the studies. So we're going through the fact that the scientific studies on gamma brain waves, and not only the benefits of how you need to be in that brain wave state of self-control and happiness and compassion because of what it does to the amygdala, which is the brain's fight and flight centers, which is why I've always been able, because it disconnects it or it turns it off when there's a certain amount of piezoelectricity from the pineal gland because of the magnetite crystals and the calcite crystals. And again, we're going to break all of this down. That means I have an expanded ability to do what's like in the movie Limitless. So that's why I've been able, in the face of extreme adversity, to maintain a sense of peace and calm and don't fight and don't run. Because that, remember, during the purchase of this home, I was told for 6 months, take your shit and pack and leave. Because we're not going to count that as income. And I told them, the fuck you not. So I went back and forth with bankers, with lawyers, with everybody, because I had the income, but they said they wasn't going to qualify. They wasn't going to use it. And then they pulled up some old shit, some old tax stuff, paid it out. Then they put up an old student loan debt, paid it out. So they pulled up like $40,000 between me and my wife of old shit. They did everything in their power to disqualify or prevent us from walking into this home. But the day of closing, that morning at 8 a.m., they said, Mr. Rogers, you cannot close unless you bring a check for $45,000 to cover the closing costs. I told them, are you fucking stupid? I'm a veteran. And they said that covers the down, Mr. Rogers, but it doesn't cover the closing costs. So I told them, well, you bring your attorney, and I'm going to bring me. They said, well, you need to bring your attorney. I said, I am my own fucking attorney. I need an itemized list of everything that you're charging me for closing. When I got there at the closing office, that $45,000 was reduced to $9,000. Why? Because I didn't buy the fucking hype. Everything on this planet is a lie. And we are buying it. We gotta stop buying. High blood pressure is a lie. They change the numbers every year. If they get you on the medication, that causes high blood pressure. AIDS is a lie. Herpes is a lie. Every disease that's known to man, I can cure. Because I got the shit from Dr. Saban and got it from Destro Cross and I got it from Maxwell Gershon. It's on the internet for free. You can Google it yourself. Nobody dies. People are fucking being killed because they suffer from exactly what the Bible says. Lack of fucking knowledge. That's it. So we're not doing that over here. Now, whether you choose to implement the information or not, because I already got it. Anything you want to know, I already got it. It's inside of what you're talking. Wealth, health, wisdom, nutrition. That's the whole point of the Life Management University. Every class is going to be on that site for $20. You can take one class at a time, or you can roll an entire program for $1,000. So you can smorgasbord it, pick it up, just go and just click, download, and take the class. Self-paced. I've been working on this for, like I told you guys, for almost a year now, because I got so much fucking information. But the goal is to have everything in one spot, and then to put all of your information on that too. So that way, everybody is getting paid. Then set up the affiliate program. So when somebody if Brother Cameron refers somebody who picked up a Dear Can You report at $4.99, well, he gets a check. And everything is done automatically. So that way, I can be at the Bahamas sipping on some pina coladas by the poolside, telling my fishing stories with Brother Cameron. And hopefully y'all be there too. Because of technology, we can automate everything. Now, all we got to do is just oversee, but I can't do it by myself. But everybody has to be vibrational brothers and vibrational sisters, so that way there's no egos, because ego fucks up everything. So how do we get rid of the ego? Shadow work. What we talked about this morning and what we talked about tonight. Because when you do the shadow work, again, all hidden agendas become visible to you. Every time I meet somebody, as soon as I meet them, I know everything about them. From the perspective of character. I'm not interested in your personal life, what you do, blah, blah. Are you a man of your word? Is your nay, nay, and your yay, yay? Can I trust you? Or are you trying to fucking stab me in the back? So I already know the answer to all those questions. But I want to know, do you know the answer to those questions? That is why, at this level, it is extremely hard to connect with people. Because you can literally pick up people's energy. So verb, vibe, tribe, thrive. So once again, in conclusion, please text me, email me. At this point, today is November 30th. I would like to pop this off January the 1st. So we got all of December for you to mull it over if you want to do it. Again, 5 to 10 people. The cost is $1,000. That $1,000 go into a pool, and it is rotated around from everybody's site until that $1,000 is agreed upon and it invested into a specific project. What does that mean? Like I said at the beginning, what we're doing is the culture of generosity. The reason that I love being at this level, because there is no devils at this level. The higher the frequency, the greater the alteration. You literally live in an altered state of consciousness. I've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't require all of this extreme, whatever, fucking going out into the mountains, dieting, veganism, meat only, whatever you're doing, that's awesome, that adds to, but God is spirit, so are you. Those that work for him must work for him in spirit. Now the spirit does trickle down into the body. So sure, there are some dietary stuff, there's some yoga positions, there's some breathing techniques, there's some Wim Hof breathing. You can go out and do some fucking cold water, activate your brown fat cells and do all the David Sinclair stuff. All that shit is awesome, but you gotta do the spirit work first. So the higher the frequency, the greater the alterations, the adjustments, and the change. What that does is it allows us to establish an organization that is loosely called Life Management University Round Table. Now we will probably change the name to just, Circle of Light, something simple. But for now, this is the leadership for the Life Management University. Because, again, I am a starter. I'm not a marketer. I am not a promoter. I'm not a executive from the perspective of an 8. I'm a 6. So I got to connect with other people who are closers and finishers, 4s and 8s. Because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making some money, but I should be at least 500 mil in the bank by now, minimum. I should be close to $500 million by now. Because all the millionaires that I meet, that we talk, and I show them my system and my shit, the first thing they ask me is, so how the fuck you not, how come we ever heard about you? Everybody said the same thing. Man, you're the best kept secret. I haven't Googled you. I don't know nothing about you. I ain't never heard about you. What do you call it again? Master 33? But remember, it's all my fault because I got 25 websites. So all the gurus tell me the same thing that I'm telling you, but I learned the hard way because I already made a mistake. Brand yourself in one area. Period. I don't care what nobody else says. You have a lot of other shit, but make sure it goes to one site, not 25. The biggest mistake I made was watering down my chi. So it's very important. So what I'm doing now is what all the gurus been telling me to do. Now your question to me should be, well, why now, Doc? Well, I'm just like you. I got an ego. My head is hard. I don't fucking take orders from nobody. So they say, hey, man, if you want to be in our club, you need to do this. Fuck you, man. I'm doing the shit I've been doing. Why? Because I'm getting paid. But according to all my millionaire buddies, they're like, man, that's fucking peanuts. What you making is peanuts. I make that shit in a month. My boy Billy Jean, he does. He makes $1 million a month. A month. Now he's paid. I've seen his numbers. He's paid $300,000 in advertising. I've got zero. So the one thing that all my millionaire buddies like is we don't know how the fuck you do it. But you have built relationships with your clients. Like, I haven't seen Brother Cameron on the call in a while, right, Brother Cameron? But it's like we just took up where we left off. Like my boy J Money, he was on the call. I ain't seen J Money in 6 months. Remember, I was just talking about him 2 days ago. Then he popped up, like out of the blue. Why? Relationship marketing. So again, right now, unless you guys text me and tell me what you think, or email me, masterteacher.com@gmail.com. Say, Doc, $1,000 is too much. Or $1,000 is not enough. Or because, again, what are we using the money for again? Like I said, the most important thing for me is to pay you. So I can go out and hire other people. But somebody in this call is already doing back-end CRM, search engine optimization shit already. And you good at it. Somebody's already good at making YouTube, stuff. Now, I'm not talking about mom and pop shit. I'm talking about you got all the equipment already, you got all the websites, you got all the software. You have your own business and you profitable and you doing blank. Okay, we can talk. For the people that's not already profitable and doing blank, I'm going to make you profitable. So the whole point of the organization is just get in. I don't care what level you are at. If we got 10 people, all 10 people put in, again, $1,000. Every month that $1,000 will be deposited into a different person's PayPal account, preferably. Because PayPal, again, extends a line of credit to you after you've been there for 90 days. And you show income for 90 days. So whatever income you show, PayPal will usually triple that amount in the form of a loan that you pay back based upon what you would like. I think the minimum is like 10%. I always go with the highest, which is like 30 or 35%. That means somebody sends me $100 payment, PayPal will take $30 out of that payment and leave you with $70 to pay back or pay down my line of credit. I always pay off my line. Remember, there's no time limit. They have a minimum amount. I always pay way over that minimum amount. And then what I do? I take it out again. Remember the course that I did, how to get rich using credit. But I also do the same thing with regional finance, Covington Credit, Marina Finance, and Atum. Then I just got another check in the mail from some other company. What's the name of this company? Now this happens to me all the time. So I get a check, but why though? Because my name is on some database. They're like, anytime you buy something, like I bought some shoes for my granddaughter from company called Banger or something like that. It's kind of weird. Now I'm getting advertising. So now I got this check in the mail from another company. I don't know what's the name of it. And it just came in the mail today. And it's for $6,500. Now, the interest rate on this shit is some crazy number, like 30%. I don't give a fuck. Why? Because when I take it and cash this check, I'm going to pay it off in 90 days. I'm going to make 2 payments, maybe 3, because on average to increase your credit score by 10 to 20 points. I don't know if y'all listening. Once you get to 700 and 750 credit score, fuck, you can buy anything. How do you think I got my bet? Sign and drive. No money down. But I put money down. Why? I don't want no fucking $3,000 payment. So I put money down to lower my payment to pay down the principal. Now remember, I taught all of this inside of the how to get rich using your credit. So that whole class will be on the website that everybody that's a part of this. You can take all the classes for free. So instead of joining, because remember, you got to pay $1,000 to join the thing anyway. What this does is not only my class, well, maybe Sister Diane knows basket weaving. And if there's a market for it, maybe Brother Joseph Lynch knows, let's say he's an expert marksman, which is something that I really want to get into as well. Especially now because they come out with new technology where you can set up a range in your house, basically, using laser bullets and shit. So let's say Brother Joseph knows all of that. He knows how to buy the stuff, set it up and everything. Well, I want that shit on my website. So people can come to Life Management University, enroll in Brother Joseph Lynch course, go through this program, and Brother Joseph Lynch get paid. Because again, I don't need the money, but I want to help Brother Joseph become a millionaire too. Same thing with Dr. Drone, Dr. Arlen Span, Sister Shola of the West, everybody on this call. But it's easier when we all work together. It doesn't matter. We will all vote. If we got 10 people, we got 10 grand. So who gets the 10 grand for the first 30 days? I don't care. Whoever needs it the most. Based upon what? Okay, what are you going to do with it? Because again, you got to pay it back. So what if you take the 10 grand and take out a secure card? That's an idea. Why? Because they extend that because you showing money in your account. Then once you get the card, the moment you get that card, you're going to get a plethora of letters from every Tom, Dick, and Harry to get their card. Take them all. And then I will teach you how to rotate so that way you take credit and pay it off. But you still need the most important thing, income. As my boy, Brother Jibber, they broke down. So I don't give a fuck how much credit you got. Eventually, you got to pay that shit off. And you can use one card to pay off another card, but that rotation must be infused with income. But it gets you through when your income is shallow. Like right now, November and December time frame, a lot of years, are not as rambunctious, if you want to use that term, as June and July. But I already know that because I can look on my history of my income. So that's why I'm able to maintain my standard of living because I'm able to rotate. I take one loan and pay off another loan. But I keep the loan and I use the money. So I'm using credit to pay off credit. I'm using debt to pay off debt. You want to get in debt because everybody else says you get out of debt. But what happens when people go out and they don't buy assets? If you don't get fucking in debt, get in debt. My wife got fucking 30. She was laughing with those coworkers today, at least purses. Each one of those purses, I stopped paying for them because I didn't get it. Now I kind of do. Them Gucci those purses that I paid, I know on average, shit, $2,000 to $5,000, $6,000. I don't get it. I don't know why anybody would pay $4,500 for a purse, but hey, I stay in my lane. But the little website that she goes on and trade, she finds other women who wants to buy her purse that she don't want anymore. Same thing with the shoes. Same thing with the jewelry. So if you're going to buy something, you want to buy some shit that increases or at least holds its value. Now, all you do like my boy, Brother Jimmy, the gold grill yard man. You guys remember in the class when he's breaking down? My boy does landscaping, kind of like my boy Brother Cameron. Brother Cameron, you still doing your landscaping business? And Brother Jimmy, he's making mad cash. Now, I wouldn't think landscapers, lawn, because that's like manual labor, right? So I would see people laugh at people who do that. Not no more. Because if you go and talk to Brother Thibodeau, he has, what do you call it, Lawn Supreme. He's making mad bank. But he likes what he do. So the goal of this group, everybody who put $1,000 in, every month we're working with that person to build their business. We're going to take all the money and we're going to give it to you. And I'm personally going to work with you for that 30-day period. If you don't have a business, we're going to get you one. Maybe you 9 to 5. And maybe you like like my wife. She don't want a business. People have been coming asking her, could you do videos on how to grow, how to do that? And she started by saying she feels uncomfortable. We have people coming up to the house asking her. And I say, yeah, bring them on over, $25 a head. She said, well, no, I don't want to charge them. I said, why not? And then she had all of these greens. We couldn't eat them all. She had like 25 peppers. She was giving to throw them away. I said, why are you growing jalapenos? She said, I don't know, they just grow. I just like growing shit. I said, well, maybe she should sell them. Well, sell them to who? Well, instead of waiting until they get bad, how about people just come over here and just pick them? You can advertise on the neighborhood site. Anybody want fresh, homegrown jalapeno peppers? These suckers are big. They're hot. I eat them every morning. Almost every morning. But I can't eat all them fucking peppers. But she's going to throw them away. I'm sure somebody, because we are in Little Mexico, I'm sure somebody would like these jalapeno peppers. But what's the point? The point is, there are some people they're not really designed, so they would have to get assistance for somebody who sees the worth and the value, and understand like microgreens, connecting with a restaurant, a small mom and pop restaurant, who they need jalapeno peppers. But instead of paying Jim Bob for whatever that he's paying for, jalapeno peppers in a can, you can get this shit fresh out the backyard. But it takes an entrepreneurial mindset. If you're a four, most fours, they don't have that. And there ain't nothing wrong with God did not design them that way. That's the whole point of this group, is to connect with somebody who's designed different from you who can help you. Because I am not an 8. So I got to connect with 8s. So that, because 8s, they can execute business decisions to move this business forward faster. I'm not a 5. 5s are fucking recruiters. And they are very good promoters. They can go out and talk to people and say, hey, you seen the life management system? You seen the life management university? Hey, you should take some classes. Do this shit global. If we got 10 people, we all working together, this is going to be something bigger than what it is. So again, we ain't in no rush. We got plenty of time. So we're going to pop this out in January. Again, I'm thinking $1,000. That may be too much. May not be enough. Whatever you guys think is comfortable, maybe we should do $500, whatever. I don't want to cap out the number of people, whether it's 3 people or whether it's 100 people. Again, I want you to feel, by going into your spirit, whatever you do to connect with your source. Remember, the God of your understanding. We all have different levels of understanding. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is we are all spirits. We're not synthetic life forms that's made in a fucking lab. We are individual expressions of God on earth. There is mutual love and mutual respect. I'm not here to hurt, harm, defraud, and disrespect anybody. If anything I said in this show or any show, I apologize. It's never my intent to make anybody feel anything other than love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control. Because of my freedom, though, I'm okay with doing stuff that I didn't do. Dropping F-bombs, being happy, being jovial. I used to dumb myself down. I'm not doing that anymore. So I know sometimes my energy level may be too much. I understand. I'm happy because God's done a lot for me. If you came from where I came from and you at where I'm at right now, you be fucking happy too. So my job is to make sure to get you to the place, whatever your definition of heaven and how your little slice of heaven, you be able to experience it now instead of next week. All right, everybody. I love you. Appreciate you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. We see you guys later on, I was about to say next week, tomorrow. God bless.